All right, so this was it. This was the Glee finale, a big 2-hour extravaganza. The first hour was a flashback to, I guess, what we didn't see before the finale. I love Glee is All I Need tweeted even before the episode started. She tweeted this photo of her friend sitting there already crying. So a lot of Gleeks were not prepared for the end of this finale. But yeah, so we got a flashback to things back in 2009. And a lot of people were loving it. I mean, we saw a lot of characters return. We had Terry, we had Karofsky, we had Bert, we had Emma, all pop up in the first few minutes. Proud of Naya tweeted, feels like she's always tweeted, this revisiting the pilot idea was so brilliant, hits all the right sentimental notes. Sydney tweeted, this episode is the reason I love Glee, this is so great. Clenter tweeted, this episode is better than the entirety of season 4. I'm not sure if I totally agree with that. Cynical Glee was not cynical at all. He said, OMG, love, love, love. And my special guest, Melanie, is here. What did you think of the first hour? What did you think of things, how it started out?
I mean, it was nice to see some of the characters returning, but it didn't really do anything for me. I just felt like I was watching pilot all over again. It just wasn't special. They didn't show, like, Quinn, Santana, none of them. Puck's hair was, like, obviously not from 2009. I just didn't like it. It wasn't good.
Right, that's the funny thing. Like, Puck didn't look like a high schooler when the show started, so to try to make him look like a high schooler 6 years later is just never going to happen. I mean, he literally looks like he's, like, mid-30s. Like, I always love that storyline where he was hooking up with Idina Menzel. It's like it's supposed to be a teacher hooking up with a high schooler, but it's like they look in reality look like they're about maybe 5 years apart. But yeah, so we did see some other characters return. Like we saw Terry, which I found Terry a lot of fun in these final episodes, and people were tweeting, Meg tweeted, Terry is my idol, I don't care what any of you say, I love her. Yeah, like people hated Terry when she was around. She was only around for the first half of season 1 with that whole big baby thing. And I love that people love season 1, and I always remind them, like, you remember there was that stupid fake pregnancy storyline, right? But yeah, she was actually fun in this episode. I didn't mind her return. And then Matt, the character who never had any lines,
I thought that
season 1, got a line. He said, "Hey Mercedes," and Mercedes just ignored him. And yeah, I should Glee tweeted, Matt's first line was, "Hey Mercedes," and then he got ignored. Haha, I love it. So yeah, it's nice that they kind of made fun of that. What did you think of some of the returns, Melanie?
I mean, I always like to see Karofsky because I think Max Adler's just a really good actor who just didn't get a lot of screen time on Glee and just never really had a storyline. Other than that, I mean, Matt, why bring him back? It's kind of pointless. And yeah, I like Jessalyn Gilsig is great, so, I mean, having her back as Terry, I thought that was a lot of fun. For sure. Yeah,
like it totally worked out. I wasn't sure how they're going to do it, but it totally worked out. But yeah, so basically the main point of the first hour was to see all the additions of the original. And yeah, we did get another scene with Kurt and Bert. And yeah, it kind of reminded me how great that relationship was. Like Amy tweeted, oh, this is so cute. The Bert-Kurt relationship is probably one of the best things to come to Glee. It is truly groundbreaking. The big thing about this episode, and of course it continued in the final hour, was the lack of Santana, Brittany, and Quinn. People noticed it after a little bit. C tweeted, I would have loved it if the Unholy Trinity was in it to see their points. And Catherine tweeted, okay, Glee, you can't keep showing the Cheerios without showing us the Unholy Trinity. It's just wrong. Yeah, it was weird. There was that scene in the gym where we were seeing cheerleaders, but Santana, Quinn, and Brittany weren't there. And yeah, we had that scene. I tweeted about it, and people retweeted it like crazy that Blaine was fit into this flashback episode, even though he didn't show up till, I guess it was like halfway through season 2 he showed up.
Yeah.
But he was still in the flashback episode somehow. But he didn't have Santana and Brittany.
I think Ryan Murphy hates them. I think he's hated Diana for a long time. I think the Santana thing is just more Leah Michelle related. But I don't know. I wish they were in the episode, but if it was up to me, they would be the whole episode.
Malia tweeted, why do they shove Blaine down our throats? He didn't even exist in 2009. And then Naya Rivera's team tweeted, Darren is in the 2009 episode, but Naya, Heather, and Diana aren't. And she had a picture of Naya with my breast aches. Yeah.
I just want to touch on this. I thought for the 2009 episode, they really didn't talk about Finn very much. They didn't really mention him that much, and I thought that he was such a big part of the Glee Club. Like, I know he's dead, but I still think that there should have been more mention, and his presence should have been felt more than what it was.
obviously it was tough to fit him in without showing him. But yeah, I liked it because it was kind of focusing on different characters throughout the hour, and then it was kind of the last 10 minutes they kind of focused on Finn without actually showing Quinn. So yeah, I didn't mind. And I guess on Twitter, a lot of people didn't realize they were going to play Don't Stop Believing again. But I saw the music list. I knew that they were going to do that. I knew they were just going to play the pilot Don't Stop Believing version again. So I knew that was happening, so I wasn't surprised when it happened. But I guess a lot of fans weren't expecting that. And yeah, I thought that was a good way to do it. I mean, they had to do Don't Stop Believing in some kind of capacity again. I'm happy they did it in the first hour, because I didn't want Don't Stop Believing to be in that last hour, because they've already done that song 4 times.
Yeah.
So it's like they can't do that song again in another new version. So I like they just played the pilot version again, and it was in that first hour, so it wasn't really part of the final hour. But yeah, we might as well jump to the final hour of things. I don't know, like I actually have less to say about this final hour than the first hour. The first thing I noticed in that scene where Matthew Morrison sings the song to them, and actually Leah's album tweeted that was actually the last scene that they filmed. They filmed it out of order, so that scene in the choir room, that was actually the last scene that they shot. So a lot of people were saying that the tears are real. Like Jess tweeted, she had to quote, "The magic we made in this room, so much magic, so many incredible memories." But I still find it hilarious. I know there's fans of her. I don't understand why Kitty is included. Like she's like the main member of this Glee Club. When Matthew Morrison is singing the song, she's in the group with everybody else. Like Kitty, I literally, when I was going to do that tweet, I had to Google her character name. I couldn't remember what her character name was. So like, who is this girl that Ryan Murphy somehow loves that's included her? Like she's this alum that's been around forever. Like I know there's fans of Kitty, so I can't say no one loves her, but she's not a big part of the show.
Well, I like Becca. I think she's a good actress. I think she's a good singer. I've enjoyed her performances. There's no character development. She's there. She's kind of like a glorified prop. And now she's in all these scenes, and I would have preferred to see originals, just like probably most people.
Thank you, Glee tweeted, "I hate that all these characters get a goodbye, but Santana, Quinn, Brittany, Mike, and Puck don't." It just left a really sour taste in my mouth watching this, especially as the episode kept going. I was like, oh my god, we're really not going to see these other characters that were so important to the show. We're not going to see them again? Like, really? And yeah, once that final number happened, and I'd already heard the audio, so I knew Quinn, Santana, and Brittany were not going to get any solo lines. But actually seeing that scene, it was like Quinn, she was just a random blonde in the back, and then you got that. I feel like they had the slow-mo, the footage of Santana and Brittany coming down the stairs to make that shot longer because they didn't have enough footage of them. But it's just like, I mean, maybe you saw 4 seconds of them in total in that scene. It was like, this is crazy. Like, I can see it a little bit with Quinn. Like, I like Quinn, but yeah, she did leave the show early. But I just think, especially with Santana, how much she became a lead of this show. I tweeted at Ryan Murphy that I just don't understand how you could be so dismissive of such an important character to your show in the final moments.
I watched it from the beginning, and I watched the whole, Brittany and Santana thing, kind of they're falling in love and whatever, and then now it's like they're married and that's it, and like we don't know what happens next, if anything happens next. They don't get to sing a final song. We don't know what their future holds. I'm also really disappointed that we didn't get to find out if our Quinn and Puck still a thing. Like, whatever happened to their baby. Like, all of this stuff it's just they closed off the show with no closure.
This show is finally over. I have to say, like, I kind of tuned out a little bit once the new kids were around in high school, but I pretty much watched Glee all the way through, and I'm happy to say goodbye to the show. Like, watching the Sue scenes, I couldn't care less about Sue anymore. Like, I'm done with the show, especially giving the shaft to the other characters. Like, thank God, good riddance, Glee. It's over. But yeah, thanks for joining me, Melly. This is fun.
So it's fun to join you. And I'm glad you had me.
Keep hitting us up on Twitter, and we'll find something else to talk about. But
Absolutely.
Goodbye, Glee.